keep talking about sales, and I feel like one of the biggest things we need to talk to the people who we're training about sales is the difference between advertising and marketing. Because marketing you're doing all day, all the time.
Should we intro
first? We can interview it anytime we want. This is our podcast.
This is our podcast.
Producer Joanna doesn't tell us what to do.
Yeah, that's right. Morning, guys.
Just kidding, Joanna.
Welcome to the Unrivaled Potential Podcast. I'm Mike Pomeroy, and
I'm Ryan.
Yep, that's Ryan.
Cheers, mate.
We're gonna just start our discussion this morning. A little bit of sales tactics, some marketing, maybe changing up some of what we've been talking about, and bring some value in that way. So here we go.
At least we hope so.
Difference between, as you were saying,
it's a stupid pet peeve of mine, but it drives me nuts. People will be like, "Yeah, I really need help with my marketing," and then I'll talk to them about it, and they don't want help with their marketing. They want help with advertising. They want to know which advertising to do.
It's funny. I've never noticed the difference either, and often I probably do that to you all the time.
Oh yeah. You're like, "Hey, how's our marketing doing?" I'm like, "Our marketing's great." "How's our advertising?" "Well, some of it's good."
Yeah. There's a difference between the two. Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a stupid pet peeve, but it is a pet peeve of mine because they're not talking about the same thing necessarily.
Right.
And sometimes in order to get to the nub of the matter, you do have to use the right verbiage so you know, well, okay, I'm talking about this or I'm talking about that. Marketing is that whole umbrella of, okay, this is how we present ourselves, this is our branding, our labeling, how we answer the phone. That's all part of marketing, because even pricing is part of marketing.
Right.
How do I price this so that the general public wants to buy it and will buy it in mass, or en masse, as they say. Anyway, that's all marketing. Advertising is actually delivering that message. So whether that's Google ads, something on your website, some
magazines, or anything.
Yep,
I got you.
Advertising, all that stuff.
I will do better at that, Ryan. Thank you for correcting me this morning so kindly.
All right, guys, that's all we got for today. Thanks for joining us. We've accomplished our mission. So, cheerio.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a stupid pet peeve, but if you can say, okay, let's work on my advertising instead of work on my marketing, or no, some people really do need to work on their marketing. They aren't very professional when they answer the phone, and their branding looks cheap or cheesy or something like that. Yeah, you need to work on your whole marketing package.
Kind of like me a year ago when I was answering the phone and had my head down in a crawl space. I was like, "Yeah, it's Mike." "Oh yes, sir. I can definitely help with that." Yeah, you get that.
You hear clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, you get that sweet voice of the
Oh yes, Mr. Customer.
Get your customer service representatives up there. I that was life changing, and I knew it needed to happen. Mm-hmm. It's finally getting to that point where, you just got an amazing secretary and customer service team that just answers the phone consistently, cheerfully, and big difference from the normal plumber. A guy going out in the field and you're in the middle of something. Yeah. You get distracted by a phone call, and sometimes there's just not enough time between answering the phone to switch yourself out of work mode to answering the phone.
Absolutely. And that's why you hire that person, because you don't need to be everything. And it is a relatively easy and inexpensive way to level up from being just a one-man show to being a real company, even if it's just perception. And that's what marketing is. It's perception. It's fixing the perception.
Yeah. If you're going to stick to, being a one-man show, you might as well just, stay with being a Chippendale, right?
The dancers?
Yeah, the one-man show. Get it?
Oh, okay. I've never seen the show, only seen the Chris Farley version of it.
Yeah, well, there was two of them on that one, but they really complimented each other, Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley.
Like looking at him like, all right.
Yeah. Farley, he really got into it. Me and Branson talked about doing that for Halloween.
I think I don't really want to see that, but I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, at least the cufflinks,
Bow tie and cufflinks. Completely naked otherwise.
It depends on the audience.
People throw things at me when I get naked, so. And not dollar bills. Oh, so getting back to branding and marketing. Speaking of which, no.
Yeah.
um,
Got the Unrivaled tattoo right here.
right on your butt. What Mama don't know can't hurt her.
Yeah, that's right.
But that your secretary answering the phone like a professional is part of your marketing and branding, and then that next level is having an actual salesperson, or at least somebody who is in that role, whether it's actually a plumber or a heating and air guy, or just somebody you hired just for sales, going out to talk to the customer. That I think also levels up your company as far as your perception in the market, because the one man show, the mom and pop little shop, they're going out and doing their own sales calls. When a professional salesperson shows up and gives a very dynamic and individualized presentation, one, you're going to close a lot more deals, and two, they see your company as a real company, not just a guy.
Right.
Which, there's a few people out there who they really want that guy. They want Mike Pomeroy to show up and do their plumbing every time, and that's fine. There's some people out there for them. They're probably cheaper than us.
Well, they're always going to be. Yeah, they're always going to be cheaper. But are the real question is, are you going to be able to get them out there? Right.
Yeah.
I go back to, there's so many plumbers around here that are way better than me, that have been doing it way longer, a lot of experience, but you just can't get hold of them, or they're still answering the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And we got one really close to us that, every time I have called, unless I have his cell phone number, I'm not getting anyone in the office. I'm leaving a voicemail and I'm hearing back from him 2 days later. And then finally it's like, hey, I want to use you for some of this stuff. I need your wisdom, and let me give me your cell phone. And so that's the difference there, right? And it's their own level. They're busy. They have plenty to do. If I was a one-man show, I'd be booked out for the next 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't hit as many clients. You don't need to if you're going to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
The mom and pop model is not wrong. It's just what you want to do in life. You want to keep yourself busy till you're 75, go for it. I haven't met a whole lot of plumbers that are happy at 72, 73 years old to
still be plumbing.
And not a lot of them. I mean, they're still out there, just guys that like to keep themselves busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just trying to pay off that boat so they can ride off into the sunset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and most of them, if they're not big company mentality, they also haven't educated themselves on financial tools and things like that, so that they've got some big nest egg sitting back there waiting for them. They've blue collared it, and hopefully they've saved and stuff. But Lord willing, they have more than just social security waiting for them at the end of the tunnel.
Right. They're self-employed. They're not entrepreneurs. The big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, they own their job. Yeah. So if you want to get out of that rat race and own your job, and own a company rather than your job, leveling up and marketing is a big part of that, because if people perceive you as more, they're willing to spend more, and they take you more seriously when you show up with a $5,000 estimate that they thought, wow, I was thinking $1,000. But he's the professional. This is a real company. I'm going to take his word for it. And they say they can get it done tomorrow. All right, let's do it.
When you say level up, are you talking personally or just business?
Both.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, because I've always heard you grow to the level of your own belief. So if Mike Pomeroy thinks, okay, I'm just a dumb plumber, I'll never move past here, you're right. If you think, all right, I'm going to have a big business for Montrose, and I'll do well, and I'll be a big fish in a small pond, you're right. If you think, hey, I can build an empire, and God has blessed me with tools and connections and abilities, and all these opportunities, that I'm gonna have multiple $1 million businesses, and people are gonna know me from coast to coast because of my wonderful podcast, then you're right. Psychologically, spiritually, all those things, I really believe that you can't build your business to a huge level until you figure out that you can.
Yeah. What was it you just said? That you can only grow as much as you
to the level of your belief.
To the level of your belief. Yeah. There was a similar quote that is probably tied to that one from Bob Proctor.
Hmm.
And he said, you only grow as much as your self-image.
Yep,
And I
absolutely.
was just talking to a guy yesterday, another business owner that's growing, Travis, and I sent that to him because he's just like, I gotta level up myself. And I was like, yeah, because if you can't look at yourself and go, I'm capable of those things, then that's, and I've so many times in business, and you're learning that too, that we hold ourselves back
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and step on our own toes and slow ourselves down based off of not bringing in the right people that can do so much more. And it's
Mm-hmm.
there's that belief that I can do more than just this.
Yeah. And I know I was stuck for years thinking I had to do it all myself, or I had to be the smartest guy in the room and had to wow everybody with my skills and intelligence and things like that. And just in the last probably 3 years, I've really seen the benefit of having a really good group of like-minded professionals who, like you want to go places and do big things, and surrounding yourself with people like that makes all the difference in the world. If you're hanging out with, guys who get drunk and stoned every night, and their highlight of the year is the softball tournament, then that's fine, and that's where you'll be next year and the year after and things like that. If you want to be a multimillionaire and do big things and touch lots of people's lives, then hey, let's get around some people who are doing those kind of things.
Right.
So,
Because there's a giant learning curve that goes in that.
absolutely. And for those of you guys out there who maybe you haven't been able to find your circle, reach out to us. We can hopefully be a resource for you in your life until you find those people. Because I know that was a long-term struggle for me. Surround yourself with people who want to grow and who have big visions and things like that, because that'll help you create that belief that yes, I can do big things, and then before you know it, your branding and marketing reflects it. And don't be afraid to hire a professional who will take you to that next level.
How did you go about that first step of so say this is one of the first steps, right? We'll obviously we'll get into some books that are about personal growth is where you need to start. But how did you go intentionally finding those people? Good morning, Don.
It's a good question. I don't know if I was intentional enough. We just met because I was looking for business owners who wanted to grow as a customer.
It wasn't just because I was awesome. That's disappointing.
You stuck around because you were awesome.
Yeah.
Like I found you because you wanted to show up on Google.
Yeah.
And then sought out another friendship with a successful guy. Honestly, if you start looking for people who excite you, those people will turn into those good friends, and then just be intentional about keeping them in your life. And
intentionality is pretty much everything, right? It's the same thing with finances. So let's start off with that lesson and cut this thing short.
Sounds good. Thanks to Pipe and Torch Coffee for sponsoring today. It's always finger looking good.
Finger looking good. That's fried chicken. That line's already been taken.
Oh, dang it.
Thanks for jumping in and watching the podcast today, listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Merry Christmas.